Hello everyone, hopefully you're going to have a wonderful day. It begins in the news, so this is Dynasty Tactics, and we're going to be starting with the Sunsei campaign. So, to give you a brief little overview, Dynasty Tactics, older game, 2002. I feel like there's not really a lot of videos online of it, so the one reason that I am doing these playthroughs is that, yeah, I just love this game. I love it so much. I love so many different elements of it. I love the Three Kingdoms period, and this was my introduction as a kid. Like, I remember playing, I don't know, like, when I was 12 years old, playing this game and just having a blast. Like, this was, like, what I would do for hours and hours. And just, like, the different characters, and just, like, it was so exciting to see the different paths. So, I don't know, there was just so many good elements to this game, and, yeah, I just wanted to kind of give it, you know, not only just, you know, it's something I really enjoy playing, but I think like other people should know about it, because even though it's an older game, I don't know, I get so excited about it. So yeah, basically we're going to go into it, give you a base overview of what the game is. It's a strategy game. So we are starting with a whole new save game, just completely new. We are going to select characters, so you get to select from 3 different characters. So these are the 3 different main warlords that you do, that will actually form the 3 kingdoms. So Liu Bei, Cao Cao, and Sunsei. So we're going to begin with Sunsei, because I had actually started playthroughs before, and had done a couple actually Liu Bei and Cao Cao playthroughs, but unfortunately I just lost everything because my hard drive failed. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to Sunsei, which is going to be really fun. So Sunsei characterization cutscene.
Let's go, Zhou Yu! Victory in one fell swoop!
Frontal assault?
Yes. The world will now witness the strength of my army.
Agreed.
I shall become conqueror and unify the land. To this I swear on my father's sword. Forward!
After the death of Sun Jian, his son Sun Ce trained and studied under the care of Yuan Shu. When he came of age, Sun Ce borrowed troops from Yuan Shu and invited his friend Zhou Yu to help him fulfill the legacy of his father. As he marches to conquer Jiangdong, Sun Ce holds in his hand the sword of his dead father.
And there you go. So, Sunsei, characterization within the 3 kingdoms, just the story itself, and then also this game. Basically, more bronze than brains. So, you know, might makes, you know, let's fight it out. Let's go the frontal assault, which does kind of make for entertaining gameplay a lot of the time. But obviously, it is a strategy game, so not necessarily always using might makes, you know, for ultimate power, but both Sunsei and Lu Bu both have sort of a similar sort of archetype, right? And essentially the idea, I think, is that at the end of the day, their approaches don't actually pan out because, yeah, you obviously need strategy and guile and etc., etc. So,
We cannot lose! We must not lose!
as you can see, we are fighting one of the many warlords within the 3 Kingdoms era. So, to give you a brief overview, Chinese history, you have a number of periods where the ruling government will basically formulate, and over time the ruling dynasty will become weaker and weaker, and then basically split off into a multiple number of states. So, this seems to happen fairly often within Chinese history.
Let he who desires death face me!
So this is one of the many periods, and there is a famous book called Romance of the 3 Kingdoms, and it is written essentially, yeah, within this time period, and honestly, it's a great piece of literature. It's got many themes, stereotypes, you know, really exciting stories, drama, you know, court intrigue, you know, self-sacrifice, love stories. Yeah, it's pretty entertaining. I'm a fan. Big fan. But what we're actually going to do here is, yeah, we're going to do that. So what we're going to do, we're setting up tactics. So hence the name, Dynasty Tactics. So you use tactics in order to defeat the enemy. So that's what these all attack, aid, muddle, repel, flank, charge. So basically when you use them on enemy units, they can chain together, and then that's how you do increasing amounts of damage. So that's basically the gist of the game, really. So what we're going to do, we are actually going to go ahead and set this off. So repel will repel the enemy away from me, but since there's a unit in the way, it doesn't do anything. And it will also change its direction, which is pretty important here. Otherwise, that unit would have been knocked back by all attack. So as you can see, we kill it, which is wonderful. So we've captured him. And now what we want to do, we want to capture Taishi C, who's over here as well. Give me 1 second. I actually need to turn down the volume. I can't hear myself think. That is much better. Sorry there. So what we're going to do is we do want a fire attack. So ideally we would actually... We actually want him... Yeah, we actually... Okay, no, we don't want him there. We want him within a forest square. So there's different squares on the ground here. Okay, grass. This will work. This will work. Okay. So we'll go ahead and attack there. Go ahead and attack again. And we are going to get hit by this tower, unfortunately. That's okay. This should be enough. Yeah, that should be enough. So we're going to go ahead and use... So we will talk about links a little bit later. This is not the best tutorial for the game, I do apologize, but if it looks interesting, you should check it out. There's definitely PlayStation emulators out there. There's, you can always get a PS2 yourself. I think both games are great, both the first and second Dynasty Tactics. The second game made some refinements that I do enjoy quite a bit, but there is something about the first game that sort of captures... I don't know how to describe it. There's a different feel to it. It feels like the first game was very much so a passion project, it felt like. And there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of different scenarios. It felt like there was a lot of work that got put into it, especially as a new idea. But the second game feels a little bit more derivative, I guess would be the way to say it. Not necessarily derivative in a bad way, but like it just feels like a repeat of the first game. This is unfortunate because we've used all our tactics up, so actually Sunsei is going to be the only one actually using tactics here. Well, we may as well just start using them because it gives them XP, so... I think it gives them, actually. I wonder about this game. In the second game, using tactics in general will give XP, but actually I don't know if that's the case in this game. Oh no! Well, that's fine. Whatever. Ideally, you would kill it with 2 different tactics there. But yeah, so you can see, this is the end of screen. So we've got Sunsei here, Zhouyu, and Hongai. So we're just getting some XP here. 2 level ups, which is wonderful. You also see we are on the main screen here with all the different locations. So we've just defeated one of the lore lords and taken over his territory. So yeah, so basically Sunsei will become one of the sort of... His family will become one of the founders of the 3 kingdoms. So Wu is their kingdom, which will come to be known as Wu. So we are kind of in the southeastern part of China here. So we get some brief character introductions. So Hongai, yeah, veteran of the Sun family, was one of the officers under Sun Jian. And I don't know why I pronounced it that way. But yeah, very, very solid unit. Very good story at the Battle of Redcliffe. He's one of the pivotal sort of people in that battle because he's part of a ruse that tricks the enemy commander. He pretends to defect. Yeah, I'll talk more about it when we get to closer to the Battle of Chibi, but, well, yeah, Battle of Red Cliff, or Chibi, I think is what it's called. I don't even know if they actually talk about it in this game. So basically they're saying, yeah, we need to formulate our base, so we're basically taking out the remaining sort of minor warlords down here. Yeah, so anyway, if you are interested in the Three Kingdoms period, there's a couple of pieces of media that are super good. So I guess the number one, I think I've talked about it before, is called The Ravages of Time. And it's a manga. I think it's Chinese, and it is just amazing. I really enjoy it. It plays off a lot of your expectations. So if you know the story of the Three Kingdoms, you know how some of the events happen, you know some of the sort of character stereotypes. It's very fun how it plays with those stereotypes and your expectations to, yeah, basically just turn that completely on its head. And it plays with ideas around history and how it gets told, and certain stereotypes that exist within the history, certain themes that historians have that, you know, it's not necessarily how it happened, but this is how it gets, you know, taught, essentially. So just really interesting themes. And someone with a history background, I have a BA in history. It's just, yeah, fascinating. I just love it. I love the play of the historicism, and to a certain extent, you know, the victors get to write the story, and what are the characters' purposes within the story. Because that's essentially what the Romance of the Three Kingdoms actually is it's a story, and they're characters, and they're based upon historical figures, but obviously with some creative liberties taken, so which is always entertaining. So as you can see, so this is our main base here, and we are going to continue and take over these two areas here. That should be fun. So, how much time we got? We're only 12 minutes in. So, what we're going to do, we are going to actually disband this army. We are going to send out a number of envoys. So, in this game, these envoys will go out and recruit units for us. So, okay, we go set on him. Okay. Awesome, awesome. So yeah, so basically you see these people here, the little white civilians. So you can see in the bottom here, so like Chen Wu, Liu Yong, we actually just defeated. So we can actually recruit him though. So you actually have a list here. So you can see here that this is the rest of China. So sorry, let's situate ourselves first. So we are kind of in the southeastern portion. So this will become Wu once the Three Kingdoms are fully formed. So essentially, yeah, what's going to happen, we're going to take over this whole area, and then depending upon our choices, we'll see what happens. But to give you kind of a brief overview of just the other powers in the area, so this is Liu Bei. So Liu Bei, to give a characterization, he gets just the crap beaten out of him. He has to retreat repeatedly, but he will become eventually the leader of Shu, which is actually way down here to the west. So this will be his capital, but that is a long way from now. So this is the time where he is kind of taken over here in GIP. I apologize right off the bat. I'm going to mispronounce probably the majority of the names in here. I am not Chinese. I do not know how to pronounce these names. I apologize. I'm doing my best, and I'm trying to do the right pronunciation. So, as you see here, some of the recruits up here, this is actually the remnants of Lu Bu's forces. So we'll talk about Lu Bu a little bit later. He will be a character in the Liu Bei and Cao Cao campaigns. But yeah, these are some of his units. So Chen Gong, super good strategist. Zhang Liao becomes one of Cao Cao's kind of primary generals. Very, very good unit, very, very competent general. And we do have Gao Shun is actually a decent strength unit. That is under Lu Bu. So that's basically what a lot of these units are. These are some various units here as well. This is mostly just Cao Cao's recruiting area. So as you can see, the blue. Cao Cao is kind of hanging out in the capital here. So to give also a context in which what's going on in China right now, basically, yes, Cao Cao is essentially basically he has control of the court. So the court is in Zhuchang right now. So Chang'an used to be the capital. Basically, there's a long history. So essentially, long and short of it is, the original capital, I believe, was in Chang'an. No, that's not true. So the original capital was actually in Zhucheng. Dongzhuo was a tyrant and essentially took over. He took the emperor, so he burned down Zhucheng. He then took the emperor to Chang'an to be near his kind of power base, which was in Liang province, which is up here where Ma Tang is. And essentially, eventually Dongzhuo is killed. There's a big... It's basically before the time period that we're talking right now. Basically, yeah, Dongzhuo is defeated. Li Ji actually does take over alongside another individual, and I forgot, Guoxi? Yeah, pretty sure it's Guoxi. There's a whole bunch of politics, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on, but eventually, Cao Cao gets a hold of the emperor, so the Han Emperor of China, and he does take him back to Zhucheng, which is the new capital. So that's basically where Cao Cao begins building up his power base, and he begins expanding and basically taking over the territorial, all the warlords in this area. And you can also see Yuan Shao here in the north. So Yuan Shao, very eminent family, very, very well respected, has an enormous army and an enormous territory to the north here. And he will fight with Gongsun Zan. So he will fight with Gongsun Zan here, eventually defeat him, and then Cao Cao and Yuan Shao will have a big showdown, which is very, very fun. So Battle of Guandu is one of the pivotal ones, and yeah, just very, very fun. That'll again be the Cao Cao campaign, so we will not be worrying about that. And we also have Liu Biao, so he is in Jing province. So Jing province is kind of this area right here, and this is kind of southern Jing province. So very, very well respected. The Liu family is actually the Han, sort of the current dynasty. But obviously, like the Liu family falling into disrepute, etc., losing their grasp on power. But at this time, Liu Biao is in control of Jing province. So yeah. And then we do have also Liu Zhang. So he's also a part of the Liu family. But he is, yeah, just hanging out in Shu over here to the west. So that's the big kind of power players. The other ones are more minor warlords that I'm not really going to get into as much, but what we're basically doing is we are taking over Wu. That's basically our only real objective right now, so we have 6 turns. So we're taking out both these, minor warlords. Oh, sorry, and I did not talk about Yuan Shu. So Yuan Shu is a cousin, I believe, of Yuan Shao. So I said the Yuan family, very, very eminent family. So he actually ends up, so he has a power base here in Runan, and he actually lent us, so he lent Sun Ce soldiers in order to kind of take over this area. And obviously at the time, I'm fairly certain, the geopolitics probably was hoping that he could keep Sun Ce under his control. I'm taking this territory for, Yuan Shu, right? So, yeah, that doesn't work out so well for him. He will eventually be defeated by Cao Cao, and yeah, he will die. He actually does proclaim himself emperor, which obviously is a political move that will bite him in the butt not so well, because even Cao Cao does not proclaim himself emperor. He is very intelligent, and he waits essentially till the next generation. His son, Cao Pi, will eventually become emperor. But yeah, and then the Caos will be supplanted as well, so it comes full circle. So yeah, that's a long roundabout way. Wow, I've talked about the geopolitics of the 3 kingdoms. But yeah, let's set up for the next episode. Before I go, oops, I might have actually messed up there. Okay, sorry, I need to. Yes, actually, Sun Ce goes here. Sorry. Yeah, so Hungai and Taishi Si should go here. Oh no, that'll work too. So as you can see, there are recruits on the map. That's what I was explaining before. So you do want to be friends with the person. So you can see here Hungai. So this Chen Wu fellow is friends with Hungai. So if I move Hungai to him, and he sits there for a turn, he can then recruit Chen Wu, and then he will join my forces. So, and same thing with Taishi Si. So out of all these units right here, pretty mediocre. It's unfortunate. Sun Ce doesn't really get an enormous amount of good units right off the bat. It kind of builds up over time. But we do have Zhao Tai, which is a good unit. So you can see here, very, very high strength value, decent LEA. He is a might unit, which means that he just has increased attack. So Zhao Tai he ends up kind of being characterized as sort of the bodyguard for the Sun family. Essentially, he's quite a powerful warrior. In Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the piece of literature, yeah, he is like a stalwart sort of general of Wu, which is this, Sun Sei's family. So, very, very good unit. So we definitely want to pick him up. And, oh, sorry, I forgot about that. That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing with Hyundai. Sorry. We also have Hua Xin. Funnily enough, Hua Xin is actually friends... In Dynasty Tactics 2, he is actually friends with Cao Cao, and the reason that he's friends with Cao Cao is that he actually becomes a very pivotal court figure in the Wei court. So, sorry, just to give you an overview. So, Wu is essentially Sun Sei's sort of area down here. It will become known as Wu. Cao Cao's sort of kingdom that will eventually stretch out sort of on the central plains here to the north. This is called Wei. And then to the west will be Shu, which will be the, Liu Bei's forces. So, but to give you an idea, Hua Xin, and I've completely mispronouncing his name. So he becomes a very, very pivotal court official and is actually involved with Cao Pi's eventual takeover and is one of the, essentially, individuals who is one of the chief sort of, what's the word to say, instigators or leaders, I guess, of the, I think he like walks into the court and like, essentially forces the emperor to abdicate, essentially. Like, he is one of the ringleaders, essentially, of that sort of court official group that eventually tell the emperor, the Han emperor, to abdicate in favor of Xiao Pi. Xiao Pi? My pronunciation. Anyway, so yeah, that is a overview of that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye.